Hi everyone, today we're going to be covering the Gameforce handheld. First off the bat, it's worth pointing out that the Gameforce is mainly the vision of one man, Gao Feng. It might not be made by one of the usual companies like GBA, Palkity or EmuELEC, but it's unfortunately not the perfect handheld either. But you can really tell that Gameforce is a project of love, a gaming handheld made for gamers by a gamer, and because of that there's a lot to love about the Gameforce. The Gameforce comes packaged with no outer packaging but straight into a carry case, which is the first super neat feature. We've got a 3.5-inch IPS display with a 4:3 ratio, so the majority of consoles look really nice. But it's worth noting that the screen isn't mounted to the protective glass, so because of the gap, the screen does feel a bit smaller than it should. We've got dual analog sticks. They're actually very nice and have pretty decent travel, but the soft covering is already starting to peel, unfortunately. We've not got any dedicated hardware buttons or a wheel to control the volume, but 2 extra programmable buttons aside from start and select. A dedicated home button and dual front-facing stereo speakers that are pretty decent. We've got 4 shoulder buttons, which are fine for the majority of systems, but I have found myself catching my finger on the edges a few times while playing fighting games, or my muscle memory goes to press the L2 or R2 buttons behind the L1 and R1, likely due to the extended finger rests in the case. These do make holding the Gameforce super comfortable for longer sessions, so I'm glad they're there, but my first impression was very much thinking why wasn't this space used for input buttons. Overall, the Gameforce appears to have a Marmite design. You either love it for its retroness or hate it for its toy-like appearance. I completely fall into the love it camp. Even the small details like the writing across the screen lens, which some people absolutely hate, I think really adds to the retro appeal of the device. Inside the Gameforce, we've got the same RK3326 CPU, so it'll be able to play everything up to including PlayStation 1 no problems, then start to run into trouble across Nintendo 64, Dreamcast and PSP. We do have a whole bunch of extras, including a really decent Wi-Fi chip that could in theory support Bluetooth in the future, a rumble motor, RGB backlit LEDs behind the buttons, although these do bleed through the case currently. Alongside the 4:3 ratio IPS display, the Gameforce really does tick a lot of boxes to me. I'm just going to turn off the camera lighting here so you can just see the bleed through of the LED lights. I think it's a really neat feature. It looks really cool, but just that bleed through is just a bit too impactful for me. Okay, I'm going to leave you to some gameplay now and summarise at the end. So overall, I really like the Gameforce. Yes, there are some issues. It's not the perfect handheld by any means, and there are some gripes. But if you can live with a slightly lower build quality, no OCA lamination on the display, then there's seriously a lot to love with the Gameforce, and it's one incredibly good achievement from such a small team. That's it for now, but thank you for watching.